Right. I think we're on air. There we go. Okay. It is Thursday, April 13th. Happy Thursday the 13th. We're going to do this agenda is not right. We're going to do a quick design check-in on various tasks related to Backdrop, CMS, the product, and the software, I suppose. Peripheral things we do. To start off, we are coming up on a release. Backdrop 1.7 should be out on May 15th, which is a month away. So we need to figure out what our priorities are, not only for design, but also for other things too, to get those wrapped up and merged in. And so we have a couple of issues that we're working on right now. Primarily, we've got a lot of work going into making our status report more usable, as well as less ugly. I mean, it's not really ugly, just going to be better. And there's a bunch of screenshots and feedback in that issue. If you guys are curious about it, you can look issue number 485. And it looks like the available updates page is also going to be benefiting from the work we're doing on status report page, and that issue is 2591. So those two are coming along really well and look like they are very close to getting in, so that's great. And then we also are going to try and do a little bit of cleanup on a couple of interfaces in views that are using styles that aren't like styles that are anywhere else in the admin theme. And I don't have an issue number for that one. I think it might be in our other agenda, but that is also probably going to get in. There's another issue here to bring normalize up to date. I don't know what opinionate update is. Who added this agenda? Is this US?
I did that.
Do you want to talk about this one?
Yeah. So Klonos brought this issue up that he's been going through and updating all of our libraries, which is awesome. But a new version of Normalize came out just 2 weeks ago now, and it's Normalize 6.0.0, and we're currently running 5.0.0. So basically just a bump. But some of the changes in Normalize, they decided to remove all of the opinionated styles, which include anything that is not related to browser consistency. And so, for example, all browsers apparently have an 8-pixel margin around the body, and that is consistent. And because it's consistent, Normalize previously had a 0-pixel margin because every website ever has a 0-pixel margin. And so they decided, well, that 0-pixel margin is opinionated because it's not a consistency problem. It's just we thought it should be in the library problem. And so what they did is they removed all of their opinionated styles, which basically results in an API break. And so when updating Normalize, Basis is affected, for example, because Basis didn't specify a body margin. And so now we're in this situation where we can't update Normalize because it's API breaking. It would break themes that are dependent upon it, including our own base theme, or our own default theme. So there's some ongoing discussion in the Normalize issue queue itself that a lot of people aren't happy about this. But a lot of people are happy about this. It's kind of like a split opinion, but everybody's got one on on this. And so
is there another library called Opinionate then that puts all that back in?
Yeah, that's it. Yep. And so Opinionate is nothing but the CSS rules that were removed from Normalize. But I'm just like, oh geez, really? Like, yeah, it's.
I think
can we just
hack
add an
Normalize
style sheet that does that?
What's that?
Can we just add like an opinionate style sheet that's ours, that's not the library?
Well, that's basically exactly what it is. Like, I mean, it would be pretty silly of us to start adding more opinionated rules, I would think.
Right.
I
think we just put in the ones that would break things. Because I feel like normalize is kind of meant to be hacked on most projects. Like ideally we wouldn't, but I don't know. I don't really see a way around it.
Well, the whole point of normalize is that it normalizes it, and then you override things. I mean, it's
right.
How many rules and stuff were we talking about in the opinionate thing? Like how many of these, other than the body margin, have been changed?
I think there's about 8.
Yeah,
maybe 12.
It's not, normalize isn't very big. That's why I'm like, meh, hack it. Screw it.
Yeah, I feel like we should just take those rules, whatever we think is applicable, and like stick it in some style sheet in basis and not worry about opinionate as a library.
But it could break people's existing sites.
Yeah, we can't. We have to put it in. We have to put it in normalize or in core somewhere. It can't be in basis.
Yeah.
I'm fine with including the opinionate, just because then if they continue doing any changes in normalize, it should hopefully track against that.
Yeah. Yeah, or if there's like if we have a base CSS or something that's in core that's like on everything unless you take it off.
I think we have system theme, but that's it.
Yeah, but system theme is overridden already. Like in basis, it would still cause the breakage.
Yeah.
Well, no. Okay, wait, hold on. So we have system theme. That's not really overridden, except on a like rule by rule basis. So,
no, it's removed in basis.
I explicitly remove it because it had a lot of bad style, not bad, but like styles that were too specific and they're getting in the way of good CSS.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that basis is like the perfect use case of a theme that like does things that, you know, make it so that we can't break other themes in core, because it's like basis is already doing the things that other themes are doing. That is,
it's great.
Slightly
it's a
unusual.
perfect use case. It's great.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of just throwing opinionate in, possibly as part of
library?
normalize. No, just like right.
As another style sheet that's part of the normalized library. Is normalize even a library, like a hook library?
No, it's just a CSS file. Yeah, I think I was thinking just literally like throw it at the bottom of the file.
No, because that's going to make it really easy for us to accidentally break it in the future. We'll be like, update normalize. Oops.
Yeah.
Remove.
Okay.
Well, we have this. I mean, we have this review with every time we update normalize, because every time they change something, like, you know, we need to make sure that the changes don't adversely.
Well, if we're aggregating by default anyways, another CSS file doesn't matter. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say include the file.
Yeah, it just bothers me because now it's like we've got this stupid file that's like, you know, your theme really should not be like, your theme should contain all the opinionated stuff, right? Like, so the file really should never be necessary except for
that everyone's been depending on normalize since ever.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like this. This is breaking like half the internet for people that are updating. So
can we turn normalize into a library and include both style sheets, or is that API breaking?
No, we could do that. It just will.
I feel like that way, if you didn't want it, you could like library alter it, and if you did want it, it would just come with normalize.
Well, if you didn't want it in your theme, you could just exclude it like any other CSS file.
Right. And then that way it's like part of the library. I don't know. I feel like that makes sense mentally, but maybe it's making a lot more work for us than necessary.
Yeah, well, it's not really part of the normalized library. It's
but it's part of Backdrop's normalized library, like not like the normalized library.
No, the way that Hook library is set up is that it says like, this is the URL of the library and this is the version of the library.
Oh.
And so you can't just mash two libraries into one entry.
Well, I mean, you could.
I mean, you can make normalized. You can make it dependent upon another library. Like
ridiculous.
Yeah, and I agree. See, it's like it's just going down this stupid rabbit hole.
For 8 lines of CSS.
Right.
Well, I've already weighed in on that issue, but Wes, if you would like to post a comment on what you think is the right thing to do, then
What was your recommendation, Nate?
I was saying just throw it into the normalized file, so that we get the new corrections for normalize 6.0 that are for normalization purposes, and we have compatibility just by throwing opinionate down at the bottom of the file. So it doesn't break anything, but it updates normalize to the latest stuff.
Yeah, we could do that, but we'd have to make sure to, but then we'd probably want to update the documentation headers on the file to make sure that it explicitly says, like, this is normalized plus opinionized.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can always revisit this at a later time. We don't have to, I guess we just need to get it sort of working now, and then we can, if things make more sense in the future, we can always change it. This doesn't seem like something that we're tied to.
Yeah. I also posted in the issue, like, for the time being, I'm fine just like letting the dust settle on this one, because there's a lot of stuff happening in Normalize's own issue about this, because it just can't, like, there was only like a week's notice between like, hey, I removed all the opinionated styles to I made a new release of Normalize, and everybody just found out about it 10 days ago. So.
Wait, does that mean you want to just leave Normalize 5 in?
For the time being, until the dust settles, I think that's a very prudent thing for us to do, because it might just get resolved on its own, you know, like maybe Normalize 7 will come out. And
there isn't any other difference
Put it all back.
5 and 6, other than removing the opinionated stuff, right?
No, there are new things in Normalize as well.
Okay. So that's what I was wondering, like, if we left 5 and Normalize for another release, would we be missing anything in the next 3 months?
Well, there might be some
but it's not really a big loss. I mean,
okay, I'm fine with either of those solutions. All right. Anything else for Backdrop 1.7? Okay. Wes, do you want to start talking about backdropcms.org redesign / unredesign?
Right. So I have 2 locals now. I have one that's like what's currently on production, the updates that are there, and then I started trying to like take my theme and put it in there and like just rework it that way, and that was getting real tricky, and it sounded like there wasn't that much different from the old site. It's just kind of like some incremental moves. So then my thought was, okay, how about I finish making the theme that I was making look more like what it sounds like, Jen and, whoever the design person, I can't remember. Oh, is it?
Nika.
Jen and Nika were thinking, and so I did that over the weekend, and I got it. Got the font in, like changed a lot of things to make it look more, like Jen was saying, Backdrop the brand, and less like Basis. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try taking that and putting it into the current site on my local and see what I'm missing. And I have started, this sounds bad, and I can change the name of the file if we have to, but I think it's appropriate. I use it all the time. It's shame.css. It's just where you put things that are like, oh, I wish I didn't have to do this, but I do. So let's just all these things in one file. So I took all like the one-off kind of things that like maybe aren't the best way we could do things like in one place. And it's not saying like oh, you did it wrong.
All the stuff from the old components file.
Well, it was just I noticed the one thing on the like the project management committee page, like styled the little thing. And I was like, ideally, you would just include this on the one page, but I don't think there's a great way to do it. So going in shame and like just kind of that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
If it's something that's like, yeah, that's exactly how you do that, and I need to bring it over from the old site, I'll just make a component CSS for it. But if
Okay.
it's like something that's like, this isn't ideal, but whatever, then I'll put it
Yeah.
in Shane.
There's probably a lot of that. Sorry.
No, that's fine. I mean, that happens everywhere. It's just like, if you even dream about refactoring anything ever again, like at least have all that kind of stuff in one place.
Yeah.
I don't know. So yeah, anyway, the homepage looks like, oh, I forgot her name again. Looks like the designer's
Nika.
mock.
Good.
Nika. On my local, right? So yeah, the other thing that's going to be so basically what was happening with my old setup that I did with the new theme and what's currently on prod is the configuration is just completely different, and I was depending on a lot of things that I had set up to be a certain way and like have class names and everything. So I think what's going to be the best is I finished what I was intending to do originally, and then I'm going to scoot it over. I'm just going to take the theme and nothing else and put it in the current configuration and database and everything. And then I'm going to like reconcile what's missing and make sure everything looks like it's supposed to in the mock.
Okay. And so I know there was a bunch of crazy stuff going on in the pre-process layer. Did you get into any of that yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I didn't know if it was easier. It was going to be easier and or wiser to like just throw everything in there and see what breaks, or if it's like I should move everything over first. And I was going to start with see what breaks, and then if that doesn't work, I'll go the other way.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that like when we swapped all of the layouts over was like sort of broken on the website, and I had to like go back and like pre-process stuff. So the layouts that are on the live site now match the pre-process that's on the live site now, but probably won't resemble what you want it to look like when it's done. But I can point you to the places that I know are going to break if you want, like a bullet, like check these things.
Yeah, and okay, so that's what you're talking about. So the pre-process layer was doing a lot of that
crazy layout stuff.
Fixing. Okay, yeah, I ran into that too because I did all that stuff on the site that I had set up on my westroad.com domain. So it'll be interesting to see how we both solved it and see like combine the best of both bits or something, or just do it one way or the other. I don't know. I'll pick your brain if something doesn't make sense, or like I don't know. But yeah, I'll so hopefully like I'll have something worth showing that's like actually launchable within the next week or two, and then we can talk about if it's hitting the mark or not.
Okay. How are you doing on content stuff? Like, do you need more, like for the tab thingy area, like I know we were behind on that, and then Cronus made a bunch of content, but I'm not sure if it matches the design mocks or if it's just like, I don't know. Like
the biggest part that I really want to have content for before we launch, because like a lot of it's like, oh, that'd be nice, like, but we can do something in the meantime.
Yeah.
Is the part right underneath the hero on the homepage where it has the features. Like the way we currently list features, I'm not a fan of, and I don't know how to make it work with the rest of the design on the new homepage. And so it'd be nice to like actually
screenshots and like what's missing.
So I made up the tabs of like what was most important. I don't know if those are the things we want to call out. And then we need the bullets inside there, each of them, because even the ones the design, like half of it's lorem ipsum, and then screenshots. So like just that whole component, I would just basically think of it as not really being considered from a content perspective. It was just enough to get a design out. Okay.
So do you actually want like bullets for each one, or just like a paragraph of text, or does it vary based on, does it matter? You don't know.
I mean, it needs to be whatever's appropriate, but I generally find bullets to be more like scannable, that kind of like real quick glance stuff.
Okay. But I'll take a look at, I'm bad at content, but I'll take a look at that and see if maybe I can like wrangle.
I think Tom
some more specific directions on what we need there. And if we can at least get 5 of those ready for, is that when we needed
Yeah.
5 of them? Yeah.
Or no, we
Um,
could do 3, like 3 or between 3 and 6 is fine.
Okay.
But I think Tom offered to help with that at one point. I don't know if he
Oh, that would
actually
be great.
got to it, but
Okay.
that was like, before I took a break. He was like, oh yeah, I might be able to help with that.
Okay. Great. That would be great. All right. Making a note. All right. We're kind of running out of time. I don't think there's been any progress on forum site design stuff. We have a new blog post and a new newsletter, but no design related to that. Is there anything you guys want to talk about in this meeting that we haven't talked about already? It's not on the agenda. No. Okay. Well, then let's wrap this meeting, and we will have a development meeting in half an hour. We'll see everybody there. Thanks for coming, everyone.
Real quick after talk when we're done.
Okay. So I'm going to stop the podcast, hang out if you guys want to talk some more.